And let's look in all the corners. That's one of the things. This is actually a good video for those of you who may lose a tortoise. I'll show you the places to look. They like to wedge themselves into corners. So this would be something I'd have to do if we were going to have a cold snap. And I do not stop until I find the tortoise, because the thing is, so you don't want the tortoise to freeze in the nighttime, do we? There she is, guys. We found her. Let's pull her out. Let me see if I can grab her one hand. She's pretty heavy, but I think we can manage. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Kenan here, and well, I got to do a little mending of fences, people. So you guys recall in the last video, this little gal, this Leopracata, she went ahead and busted through here, because what happens here in Florida, and in a lot of places where there's a lot of rain, is the wire tends to rot out. And this has just been here a while. I mean, it looks like it's just kind of rotted out. So I'm just going to throw a couple of screws in it. I'll brace some more of this stuff up against it, and make sure that she can't just get out into that area, because sometimes the tortoises can get into something and then they don't get back out. So what we got to do is get the drill going. We'll get her out, and then I want to kind of walk around and find the other Leopracatas and just see how they're doing in this big giant enclosure. They are loving the grass, I can tell you that much. And also my canoe here, I just want to see. Oh, look, there's another one. So we found the other one. They make use of all these little hiding areas. I am going to power wash this canoe. I think it's still seaworthy. So I don't know. It's got some lichen on it. I think that's lichen. Does anyone know what that is? I'm not 100% sure, but it's some kind of organism that is growing on my canoe. Mold, lichen, who the heck knows? I have no idea. Someone in the comments is some kind of fungi and or microorganism. It's not really a microorganism. I don't know. Someone tell me what it is, please. Here it is again. I'd like to know. All right, very good. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing going. This is kind of the boneyard here. This is where boneyard in the way of just stuff like tubs and gates and just big giant tubs that I use for the aquatic animals. It's just kind of where all the crap winds up, you know. So let's go ahead and get this going. We're going to go ahead and just set you guys right here, and I'm going to get to work, and then we will be able to spend the rest of the time talking about tortoises, which I know you guys want to do. It's been a while since we talked about tortoises. I've been kind of very involved with Bobby Rubino and everyone else. I'm using these long screws, oops, because these screws will catch in nicely if I can actually get the torque fit in. There we go. There we go. There's one there. Let's get this other one going, and then we'll get this gal on out of here as well. All right, very nice. I like it. We got that done. Oh yeah, this one needs to be kind of taken care of as well. Oh, so this is just one of the many things that has to happen when you got your own little turtle sanctuary farm, whatever you want to call it. Just got to mend fences, make sure these little guys are safe. Now the other thing I can do with this wire is I'm going to go ahead and probably get another piece of wire and just lay it over this. I'll also wind up probably putting some staples in there. But the reason why I'm not doing a complete fence build is because I am going to be redesigning this whole thing anyway. Probably put new board down here in a little bit. But this March we're going to be moving these enclosures out. We got a lot going on. What do you say I pull this gal out of here who's been kind of hiding? She's been hanging out right there. Let's see if I can get her. Hello, young lady. How are you? Let me just, you got to tickle their heads in so they pull in, so they don't kind of lock into the dirt, which they are very good at doing. Oh, she is a heavy tortoise. Look at her. Get her down here. So again, Leopracata. So why did I move him out here? Well, they've got tons of grass, tons of weeds, and they've got Lumpy. I wanted them to keep Lumpy company. Who knows? I don't know if they'll breed, but they are 3 females, and Lumpy is a male sulcata, so who knows? If he gets interested, there are some females. Maybe they will have eggs. I have no idea. Usually the hybrids themselves, once they have been hybridized, they are no longer fertile. But that is not always the case. It's not the absolute rule. Uh-oh, I think I hear the other female wanting to come out. But these are beautiful tortoises, and I just love the fact that they are very hardy. They're beautiful looking, not quite as delicate as the leopard tortoises here in Florida, which for some reason with humidity and some of the rain, they tend to get respiratory problems. These guys are tough. They're more like the sulcata, but with some more beautiful designs on their skin, or shell rather. So, okay. So we know we got 1 and 2 over there, but we got to find the third one. Oh, she's really making a noise over there. Let's see. But before I do that, I think I might just simply throw another piece. Let's see, what do we got to do here? Really quickly, I know what I can do. Guys, hang out right there. This is not going to be the prettiest thing, but sometimes you have to improvise because we got a video to make. Ugh. Okay. So these blocks are half-size blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and just place those right in here. And that will remedy our little situation. That's it. Simple. Done. No problems. Okay. Let's go visit with some of the tortoises. I'll put this stuff back. All right. So we got 1. And then 2, and now let's go find our third Leopracata and see what else is going on out here. Hope you guys are having a good day. It's early and it looks like it's going to rain today, which is good. We've kind of needed some rain. It's gotten very, very dry. So a little rain during the winter is a welcome event, because once summer comes, we get those afternoon showers here in Florida, and things get wet and humid. The temperature's been nice. Here's Lumpy. We talked about Lumpy also a little bit. You guys remember Lumpy had some problems, man. He was dehydrated. He wasn't doing well. Last year, after I moved him from this enclosure into the front enclosure with the rest of the sulcatas, he just did not take to the move. I think he prefers it out here where there's a lot of green grass. Well, the good news is he's made a full recovery. I don't have to worry about him. He's been drinking, he eats, he walks, he digs, he's Lumpy. And I do love this tortoise because I've had him since 2004. And when I got him, he was much, much smaller than this, as you can imagine. Can you believe, gosh, it's 2021. In another 3 years, it'll be 20 years since I've had this guy. And he is definitely closer to 30 years old. Just incredible, because I got him when he was about 10 inches across, straight line. And he came from Long Island, from a good friend of mine's home. Mr. Crutali gave him to me, and Mr. Crutali was a good friend of mine. I was close with his daughter, Dawn, and they always fixed up my 1988 Suzuki Samurai. Go ahead and Google that, everybody, to see what my first vehicle was. It was 1988 Suzuki Samurai. My brother Michael gave me, and I have a good big brother, one of them. Both of them are pretty good. And man, I drove that thing all over the United States. I drove it to Chicago and back, Oklahoma and back, all the way to California and back. And to be perfectly honest, Mr. Crutali was the guy who fixed that vehicle when it would break down, and it did break down quite a lot. So they took pity on me and always helped me out. I guess that started my love affair with Jeep type vehicles or off-road vehicles, because the one good thing about that Suzuki Samurai was that it had 4-wheel drive and I could drive through the snow, no problems. Anyway, this guy reminds me of a 4-wheel drive. He's a special tortoise, and I just wanted to give you guys that story. Kind of funny. We've got a bunch of knit wire in here that's going to be used for our new enclosure. We've also got some chain link, which is going to be used for our big croc exhibit, alligator exhibit rather. And let's go find this other Leopracata. So I put him back in here. He's doing very well. He's gonna wake up and come out. So now what I like to do to find the last Leopracata, almost sounds like some kind of movie, The Last Leopracata, The Last Samurai, I don't know. It's gonna be good. Let's see. She was kind of getting into trouble over here. So let's see if she actually wandered into this little construction site. There's nothing too dangerous in here for her, although if she did slide down, she could get stuck. But I don't see her here. they tend to be pretty smart as to not get too crazy. The other thing I have to do, and I might as well remind you folks, another good thing to do when you have sulcatas or any tortoises is you want to check your perimeter. And you can see right here, what did I say about this wire? It starts to rot out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take more corral board, and I'm going to run corral board along this perimeter. Now right now it's not fully worn out, but I do see I'm going to have to do that. I'm also going to be pulling these cinder blocks out because they're going to get used on this enclosure. So this is just a good thing to do when you have big sulcatas, because you want to check and make sure that they can't push through any of this. And it looks pretty good still, but I am going to run more board along the bottom. You can see some of the board rots out. I just add to it. This fence has been in since 2004, so it's kind of an old fence now. And where you have to patch it, you got to patch it. You just got to make sure you walk around and check that out. Where I live, there's actually a lot of people with sulcata tortoises, and on our residence page, you always get people whose tortoises have gotten out, and Good Samaritans are always grabbing the tortoises and holding on to them, or they'll call me and then I go pick them up and I hold them here so that the owners can get them. That happened a few months ago with a massive tortoise. I think you guys might have seen it. It was enormous. It was definitely a 200-pound sulcata. So they are popular pets down here in Florida, but you got to make sure that your fence is strong enough to contain them, because you don't want them getting out and getting hurt. I've actually seen people, this is a true story, who were trying to do good, and what they did was take a sulcata and they were trying to put it in a canal because they thought it was a water turtle. So can you imagine that? Your tortoise gets loose, they get found by some people who want to do good, and they wind up putting your tortoise in a canal. No bueno. Tortoises sink, turtles float. You just got to look at those hind legs. If you look at the hind legs of a tortoise, they look like elephant feet. And of course, a turtle is going to have more splayed and webbed toes. So that should work. Let's see. This was an area where I used to find this gal. Where is she? This is going to be a bit of a challenge, I think. Let's see. Come down here. Oh, I don't see her. We have got to find her, guys. That's the mission we're on. Of course, we've got the fly river and Badiger affinis inside this pond. They're doing well. I do see some tortoise markings here, some footprints, but where is she? Gosh, this is the backside of our recreation pond. You can see how there's this elevation change. We built up so much soil just to create that pond and create the topography that we need in order for it to work properly. So I'm kind of just walking around what is going to become our alligator pond, and hopefully that'll be sooner than later. You know, at least, I mean, sooner to get the fencing up. But my gosh, let's see, I don't see her. Uh-oh. I'm sure she's in here. She's the smallest one. Let's look in all the corners. That's one of the things. This is actually a good idea or a good video for those of you who may lose a tortoise. I'll show you the places to look. They like to wedge themselves into corners. I don't see her here. All right, we've done one full loop, but we're gonna have to look a little harder. So, especially since it's early in the morning, you're gonna wanna look in some retreats where the tortoise might feel safe and secure. They like to bed down for the night, and they like to get into some tight areas. So that's one of the places you got to look. Let's try this from a different angle, looking over here and looking a little bit more intently with a little bit more enthusiasm. Now there are tortoise marks. I do see her little footprints, and I did see her in here the other day. The cool thing though about giving them so much space is look at all this grass. They have plenty of space to kind of walk around and graze, and that's what I wanted to do. That's why I moved them into this environment or habitat rather than where they were with the South African leopards. And that's so they could walk around and have grass, and Lumpy would be kept company. I just think overall it's a nicer spot for these guys to wander around in, and the temperatures have been stable. But when they do get cool, all I do is walk around and pick them up. So this would be something I'd have to do if we were going to have a cold snap. And I do not stop until I find the tortoise because, you know, the thing is, the thing is, we don't want the tortoise to freeze in the nighttime, do we? Let's look here. Let's see. I don't see anybody in here, but this would be a good spot. If I were a tortoise, I'd want to cruise into here. Man, where is she? Down in here, maybe? Up, there she is, guys. We found her. All right, the final Leopracata. Oh, so cool. So this is what we got to do. Let's pull her out. Let me see if I can grab her with one hand. She's pretty heavy, but I think we can manage. Oh, let's get her out and ready for the day. I love this. These are beautiful tortoises, and they were gifted to me, by a friend of the channel and Patreon supporter, and his name is Dave. And Dave just wanted them to go to a nice habitat, nice place where they'd be looked after, and I am looking after them, as you can see. Just gorgeous tortoises, and they're just tortoises that I've never actually worked with. I've worked with both of the species that make them, but having a Leopracata of this size, grown up nicely, hardy animals, living on their food is just really, really cool. So super excited to see the progress of these guys. The last time we filmed them, we did a video. I talked all about the hybridization of these animals. It could be a sulcata father and a leopard tortoise mother, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. What you get is a very interesting and beautiful tortoise. I personally think that leopards and sulcatas are beautiful in their own right, but they do make an incredible baby, don't they? And it's just interesting to figure out, how has this happened? It's probably happened in the wild because there is some overlap in these tortoises' range. So that's kind of interesting if that happened in the wild. And if it does happen in the wild, and they could potentially have fertile offspring, is that how new species are created? I mean, it's just incredible. So who knows how things and adaptation and evolution works, but it is very interesting here to see these animals that were selectively bred. I mean, you think about dogs. Dogs were selectively bred to create all the different breeds, and all the different breeds have a purpose. We are just beginning to scratch the surface of reptile keeping. It has not been happening for as long as dogs and cats. So it's going to be interesting to see in 1,000 years, what kind of domestic reptiles will we be able to create? Can we create domestic reptiles? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And as of now, we'll just let this gal kind of wander away. I now know that all the animals in here are safe. Our 3 Leopracatas, and of course Lumpy, the sulcata tortoise. She's going to go ahead and start her day. I'm going to keep an eye on them because we are going to have some rain. So if it does get too wet, I'll probably pull them out. But it is nice to see a beautiful tortoise leaving. Hey, I hate it when you leave, but I love to watch you go. So she got a cute butt. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe we learned a few things about how to keep our tortoises safe and repair the fences. Make sure you're always very diligent on that. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Like and subscribe. So long.